Hi, everyone. I'm actually coming in today to do a little bit of uh, a roundup of some personal energy alignments that I've been doing over the last couple of weeks since my kids have gone back to school. I definitely feel like my habits fell out of priority during the summertime, and my energy got quite dispersed. And so, with everybody back where they belong, sort of at a consistent pattern, I've really been doing some things to pull my energy back and to get myself aligned in a more consistent way. And I wanted to share what that was because I think it will help somebody out there who needs it. I do think that keeping your own energy in alignment, high vibe, your frequency in the right space is just as important as the energy of your home, the feng shui of your home. I think they go hand in hand. It's very intertwined. I'll actually touch on that towards the end of the video because I think that's an important point to make. But first of all, for those of you who are new here, I'm Carrie Miller. I'm a feng shui and energy clearing practitioner, practicing for more than 20 years. This is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. I love introducing people to the knowledge about the energy that is all around them in their surroundings and how it can either be working with them or working against them, and showing people how to use their environment to help them stay in alignment, and really be able to tap into more unseen energies so that they have more energy. They're connected to a space that has more energy, and they're able to really harness and direct, almost have an energetic advantage because the energies are working with them instead of against them. So that's the work that I do, and I'm incredibly passionate about it. My background before feng shui actually was in some energy healing practices and some holistic medicine and herbology and aromatherapy. So I use a lot of different modalities to help keep my own personal energy aligned. And I use those in my surroundings too. So it's kind of a very holistic approach to this alignment and tools, all these tools to use to stay high vibe and to stay in the frequency of manifesting and potential. But this summer was definitely a busy summer. It was a crazy summer with my kids home. We were doing a little bit of traveling, a lot of college tours for one of my daughters. And that's a lot of my attention was focused there and not on my typical practices, not even as much on my business like it usually is. I was there for my clients, and but I was not really growing my business during that time. I was just really focused on doing what needed to be done to maintain things and serve my clients well, but then using my energy and my time elsewhere, because I wanted to enjoy the summer with my kids, and I wanted to really be able to focus on those things that we need to kind of move our way through as a family at the moment. But September, it's like, it's kind of like the new January. Everybody's back in their place, and I really feel like I can reclaim a little bit of my time and get more consistent and back into a routine. And a lot of that was about calling my energy back and getting things in order, so that I can really be energized and be empowered as we move through this next season, the next season of life. So, excuse me. So I really wanted to share this because I think that everybody kind of gets in that place, especially as the summer winds down. I'm looking down at some notes because there were some key points that I wanted to make. So sorry if that's distracting, but I really wanted to just touch base on some big priorities, things that are working for me and that may work for you too if you're feeling like you're a little bit scattered, you've been distracted, or your energy is out of alignment. Kind of the things that I do to call my energy back in and get back to that place of feeling more grounded and more aligned and more energized. So for the first week when the girls went back to school, I actually did nothing. It was a short week. I think the first day was a half a day, and then there were like maybe one or two other days where they had a full day of school. So it wasn't like I was really going to get a lot accomplished in that time frame. And honestly, I needed a little bit of a break. I needed like that pause to disconnect from where we had been and what we had been focusing on and kind of reclaim my own self. So for the first couple of days, I literally, watched Netflix. I floated in the pool. I did some gardening. I took naps. I went for walks, but I didn't really accomplish anything. I did probably do some daily meditations, which is something that I try to do consistently, but definitely fell off of the wagon during the summer from that very consistently. So I did my morning meditations, and that helped. All of that was very essential. Week two, I got a little more serious. And for me, all summer long, when my attention was elsewhere, there was just a lot building up. I wasn't as focused on creating in my business or planning or all of those things that I normally I'm pretty on top of. And there was just a lot of energy. Just because I'm not doing it doesn't mean that it's not formulating in my head. So I feel like all summer long, I may have had these downloads of ideas or creative things to do or something to deliver to my audience. And it just kind of sat there because I wasn't at my desk and I wasn't really focused on it. There's also, a whole bunch of the whole list of things that's to do for college application forms, and there's doctor's appointments and other things to make. So I feel like a lot of that stuff, because we were like on the go, that was just sitting in my head and not getting done, but also really blocking up my energy. So one of the first things I did on that first foolish week of their school, I say foolish because meaning not a full week of school, because our school system has like a weird calendar. So we end up having several 4-day weeks to start off. So we never actually, I think next week is our first full week of 5 days of school in a row. But I had 4 solid days that second week. And the first thing I did was grab a pen and paper and actually some post-it notes. And I just went outside, sat in the sun, and downloaded all of the things that were in my head. And that was, I kind of did it from a place of what are the business things that I need to get out of my head and get down on paper and maybe start checking off over the next couple of weeks. What are the family things that I need to get done? And what are some things around my home that have been neglected and that need to be taken care of? And I actually love using post-it notes. I ended up, I made lists of people that I have to follow up with, projects that I want to do, and I just kind of put it together like this. So this is a list of things that the pink stuff is things to do for my business. The orange things are people in my business that I want to follow up with. And then I have a different one that is things to do for the family. It was things like sign my younger daughter up for the PSATs, send money for the gear and the merchandise for the team that my daughter's on. And the other side was just kind of a list of things around the house or projects that I want to do that have just been not paid attention to. So that helps me like put it out of my head and onto paper. And full disclosure, I haven't done a thing on that list still, but at least it's not clouding up my head and blocking my energy and making me feel anxious and rushed. So that was a really big part of the practice for me. Doing that brain dump is really a big priority. So that week two, that was like the first priority. The second priority for me was doing a house reset. I am really affected by the energy of my surroundings, and it's important to me to have it in order. And quite honestly, I let that go during the summer. I was really flexible about the space and not making, staying on top of the regular chores and the daily maintenance of my home. A lot of that went by the wayside, was really going with the flow. The kids are home, so they're kind of taking over all the spaces. The kitchen, they're in the kitchen baking, they're downstairs playing games with each other. And those spaces get used a lot more during the summer than they do. And they were a little bit messier and a little bit neglected. And so I did go through and I did kind of putting things back where they belong, cleaning in a more deep way than I had over the summer, and doing an energy clearing. That was a big thing. And then I also did some feng shui changes in my space. So I'll do another video because I want to go more deep into what I did in those practices and what are the specifics of that. But brain dump, house reset, those were the two big things. And then I spent a little bit of time that week focusing on my business a little bit more deeply. And that meant following up with clients, getting a newsletter out, some things that I'd taken a back burner. But it felt really good to get back to those things. So now we're kind of into like the third, maybe even we might be at the fourth week right now. And I'm really trying to get into a daily practice. So taking those important parts of my life and giving them a little bit of focus every single day. Over the summer, it was the business got neglected, the house got neglected, but my family got a lot of love and the things that we were doing got a lot of love. What I want to be in this more routine time is in a place where everything gets touched on a little bit every day. So one of the things that I really wanted to share today was something that I'm trying out and haven't done 100% effectively yet, but this is kind of the way that I'm going in my day-to-day life. I am focused on 30, 30, 30. So ideally every day, probably that'll end up being 3 to 4 days a week, but 30 minutes of self-care, energy work on myself. That typically looks like either journaling or yoga or going for a walk or meditating or some EFT tapping, maybe some qigong or other types of energy somatic movements. 30 minutes of that somehow in my day. I would love to be able to fit all of that in, but I tend to only pick one or two of those things and get them in the morning. 30 minutes on my house. So that means just like a 30-minute reset in the morning. Maybe it's 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night, but things like getting the dishwasher unloaded really helps keep the whole flow of the house moving. Keeping the laundry moving helps keep the whole flow of the house more balanced. So picking something, yeah, 30 minutes a day, just like it will make a huge difference, I know, to be able to stay on top of the way that space looks and feels and help us keep on track a lot better. And then 30 minutes on my business. Now, obviously, I'm going to spend a lot more time than that on my business, but 30 minutes of real focused, get the important things done, things that move my business forward in some way. So that might be connecting with a new prospective client or doing some networking, or it might be working on a project that's been sitting there for a while that I want to get some forward momentum on. So definitely I'll spend more than 30 minutes on some of these pieces during the week, but if something is going on, like I have doctor's appointments to take the kids to or games to go to, or if I have a client for the day, at least if I've put 30 minutes into each one of them, I know that nothing's getting dropped, nothing's getting neglected. So that's what my little energy reset is, keeping that in mind and a little touch point of each of those things every day. I expect I'll be about 70% accurate with that. Like I'll get that 30, 30, 30 right about 70% of the time. And I'm okay with that. Like that's just how it has to be based on where I am in my life and my family and my business right now. But it's better than it was before. And I think that for those of you who are listening, who are having trouble like juggling all the things, like maybe you can make a list of what the priorities are for you and the things that will make you feel accomplished at the end of the day in terms of maybe there's 3 other important things. But for me, it's my home and my family, my business and myself, like giving myself a little bit of what I need in order to be the light keeper for everybody else. And I really think that tending to personal energy is really important, and calling your energy back from all the places where it goes is really important. I'll probably do another video at some point about those more detail on those different practices that I tend to lean on to keep my own personal energy aligned. Over the last probably 7 or 8 years, almost a daily meditation practice has been life-changing for me. Using EFT tapping has helped me through a lot of difficult or stressful situations. Um, and yoga has been a lifelong practice that has really helped me release a lot of energy and not hold on to so much. So those are things that keep my inner alignment going. And I think that that's crucial for anything. I mean, I think that's crucial before you even align the energy of your house. Like, don't even try to go align the energy of your house if you're not in an energetically sound and centered place, because you won't be creating alignment that way anyway. But I think that part of the thing that people miss is that people are doing a lot of that energy work, that inner alignment, the inner work, whatever it is, whether that's, meditating or eating healthy or exercising, all of those things that keep us healthy and in alignment. But if you're not also aligning the energy around you or the energy that you're sitting in, it makes that staying in alignment part of things harder. I think that that's really why I was not so much in alignment by the end of the summer, because I had let my house go. I let the energy of my house like kind of get out of array. And in the end, it becomes this feedback loop for me where I can't really pull myself together anymore, because the house is out of array, the energy is out of alignment, and it sort of ends up pulling me out. So I think the inner work is important, and doing that will make the outer energy work that you do in your home, in your workspace, much more powerful and much more aligned. But on the flip side, I think it's really important that as you're doing that inner work, inner alignment, that you also look at what's going on around you. What kind of energy are you sitting in? What's blocking the energy from you? If you're doing all that good stuff for yourself, but you're sitting in energies that are unsettled or harsh or undermining your energy, it's going to undo all that good stuff you're doing for yourself. It's going to make it harder for you to maintain those healthy habits, or for those healthy habits to have as much positive influence as they could. So to me, it's all about the alignment of body, mind, spirit, and home. And that's what it all is together. And for me, for sure, this last 2 or 3 weeks was all about getting all that back into alignment before really charging forward with my business or with things that we have to do for our family over the next few months. I think that all had to kind of reset. So for me, an energetic reset is the reset on that personal level, but it also includes my home and making sure that my business is a little bit in order. So think about that. Think about the things that are important to you. What is the foundation of you, and what supports you, and what can you do to touch each part a little bit every day so that it's all kind of staying in balance. I definitely had the experience of both in the last few months, where I've, really directed my attention in one place and let the other things go. And I could really feel how that pulled my own personal energy out of alignment in the end. And I can see how the last couple of days of sitting with realigning that and refocusing on the foundational priorities for me have really helped make me feel a lot more calm, a lot more grounded, and a lot more capable and energized to go do the things that are really important in the coming months. I hope that helps. If I can support you in any way with Feng Shui or energy clearing, please reach out to me. I would love to support you. My contact information is in the comments. Thanks so much.